Hello again. How are you? Yeah. I've not got all the crew behind me now, but
I love this thing.
thanks. I absolutely adore this film. For people who haven't seen it yet, though, can you give us a brief intro? The Ballad of Wallis Island. What can they expect going in?
It's a millionaire lottery winner, Charles, gets his favourite folk duo, to come to an island and play for him in a private gig. Unbeknownst to them, they are doing it together, and they've been broken up for 10 years? 10 years.
Yeah.
So then, kind of hilarity ensues, problems, dynamics are exposed, relationships, all that stuff. Yeah.
And as I was watching it, I felt like I was experiencing some kind of nostalgia, like it was a movie I'd watched growing up. And I wonder if that's because we don't make films like this anymore. Something so quintessentially British about it and heartwarming. The script came across your desk. What really jumped out to you?
Well, just that, I think, that it did feel like something that I felt familiar, but that I hadn't seen, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And having seen the short and seeing what they'd done with the script to develop it into a feature, I just knew that they were going to make this brilliant thing. And so to get to sort of be on the sidelines and be a part of it was just so exciting.
And this duo, the way they just bounce off each other. I mean, was it brilliant to bring them back together on set and seeing them bounce off each other for you? Was that something so brilliant?
I've had the pleasure of being just friends with them since then, really, or since I cast Tom in a thing a while ago before I met them. Yeah, I just enjoy being with them. I think they're incredibly talented, and I wanted to see them on screen doing their thing. I think Kerry and there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of love for Tom and Tim.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really good time to get their thing out there. I'm passionate about that.
Yeah.
Did you sometimes have to do retakes? Did everyone start cracking up?
I was allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
So we never had to stop
And you took full advantage.
Oh, it was great. I was so chilled. The two of them, their whole thing works because they don't. That Charles is hilarious, but it's more hilarious because Herb never broke. That Tom was able to just sort of keep the thing going, and they would just go until Griff said,
enough.
"That's it. We don't need any more."
But they've had 18 years.
And
they're honing
so
this thing.
great.
So they're very Tom genuinely doesn't find Tim funny anymore. I don't think.
Yeah.
So as you do with friends, it's more of a kind of it was work. They're very disciplined.
Yeah.
Which I think it really benefited the film.
But for the crew, it was very funny.
Yeah, it was very funny
A lot
for
of
all
the
of
crew,
us.
you'd see the boom guy be
A lot of shuffles.
shaking shoulders kind of off the mic.
Of course, the introduction of Nell as a character is key, to expanding the short into the feature. How did you see her as a character? And I guess not just preparing, for the character itself and the way she looks, but also the singing must have been quite a tall order.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it felt like we had enough time for it. We didn't do all the songs. We probably had about 5 up our sleeve for what we were shooting, including the 2 that are kind of really featured. And then we did a little montagey bit that we didn't end up with the final thing. But the singing, I felt like Tom was just all over. He'd written all the songs, he'd written all the music, and he just told me what to sing. But in terms of the character, she was just so on the page. It felt like so easy, and so easy to act with Tim and Tom, because they're so funny, but they're so truthful as well. You don't feel like you're in a kind of totally different thing. It just felt very natural.
Felt very grounded. And what Nell brings and what Kerry brings, I think, is a lot of poise and grace, and obviously humour too. But there's a kind of a grounded feeling to Nell. And,
She's kind of got it together.
yeah, she really has. She really is a grown-up in that.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
a
lovely
twinkle.
being a grown-up.
Yeah. Well, the album is out on Spotify, but also the vinyl album or CD comes out this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So you can actually listen to it.
Should you want to?
Should you want to listen to the wonderful
Feel free.
the harmonies, the wonderful harmonies? Yeah,
Liked
they
it.
really liked it. Universal.
We were a bit nervous, but our first public screening was at the Sundance Film Festival with a full,
Wow.
2,000 American audience members, and it was amazing. They were,
Standing ovation
and laughing a lot.
Yeah.
Very excited.
and tears. All the
tears.
things. They felt all the feels. I think it's just a very universal themes in there. Although there is sort of specific
There's not
idiosyncratic.
any specific.
No, the odd reference to. Will we put Condoleezza Rice in there? That stayed.
Rice really
Yeah,
that went down an
that went down a
absolute
storm.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of drifted over Carol Chipman, but No, I think there's a lot.
You don't need to go with that.
No, you don't need that.
It's right straight afterwards.
Yeah, you just let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah.